I want to talk about non-duality as it relates to our thinking and to our conceptualization process. It certainly affects how we interpret the world, and I feel for that very reason it's important that we really dive deep into this subject matter. This is a very critical component to consciousness that many people find themselves stuck in between. See, it's these common polar opposites, these polar opposing forces that truly keep us imprisoned in and away from identifying our truth, oneness, consciousness. In life, we tend to live in polarities such as light and dark, black and whites, negative and positives. But honestly, our entire life, we live mostly in the many gray areas. It's rare for us to not think that we live and we think inside these polarities. We rarely, if ever, live in extremities, yet we're always being led, conditioned, or made to believe that this is normal when it comes to thinking and processing. We are led and guided to think in extremes, when in fact we don't live in a world on a day-to-day basis where we're always choosing this or that. You might want to think that, but the reality is we do live in a world of many shades of gray, and that's a good thing because we all have independent and individual choices, and our unique experiences help shape and mold us. If you really dive deep, I encourage you to ask yourself, where can you notice these dualities, these polarities showing up for you in your life? Think about how certain ideas, concept, or areas of your life where you find yourself responding or thinking or reacting in polarities, and then go one step deeper and ask yourself, is that your thinking, or is that the conditioning that society has placed within you and upon you? Our everyday life experiences are truly shaping us, even as adults. It honestly never ends. And that's why I think it's really important that we bring attention to this matter. It's important that we really consider how we are thinking and how we are processing information, especially if we know it continues to shape our external view of the world, and if we know it also has a continual effect on how we internalize and reflect our view within ourselves. If we know all these factors are shaping us and molding us, then it's common sense, common knowledge to know that it's also creating the perspective lens that in which we see the world. And so when you trap yourself into this polarity way of thinking, you are trapping yourself into duality, and you are continuously creating the framework again and again in which your mind operates from, specifically your thinking brain. And so this in turn creates these natural paradigms that we find ourselves stuck in from time to time. And so this has an equal and coincidingly effect on our consciousness, especially as a collective, but definitely as an individual. And this is precisely what keeps us from further expanding your awareness, our awareness, and it takes away from the evolvement of our consciousness as a collective. It diminishes and dilutes your ability to create and even creativity as itself. So the truth has always been available. It's almost hidden in plain sight to an extent. And so now that I've laid these basic concepts out, I think that it's only natural that we all, as individuals and as a collective, that we remain the open source, the open vessel that we've always been, and that we continuously walk into the unknown, and that we claim our personal sovereignty, and that means we decide how we think at all levels, and we don't fall into the traps that have been outlaid for us to purposely, fall into. We need to continue to journey through the unknown, this uncharted territory, and push through our personal boundaries and continue to go outside our comfort zones and challenge the status quo and continue thinking and evolving as conscious beings.